Amazing. Keep your morning blessed. I am your hostess, but we have an amazing, phenomenal guest, speaker, hostess, all of the above on the line, and she is about to bless our lives this morning. So let me cut the music because I know you guys were jamming with me. So thank you for being on time. Thank you for being amazing as you are. My name is Alicia Powell. I am currently calling in from Houston, Texas. Gonna be out here for a couple of days. Super excited, you guys. But just know that this is not about me at all. This is about a queen who's about to bless our lives in an amazing way. This young lady is no stranger to this call. Of course, she is the queen bee. She is one amazing person. When I say y'all, I introduce her all the time as just one of the most warriorous women ever. I call myself a warrior woman. This lady, she goes above that. She is one of the most heartfelt, selfless females walking this earth. And that's a big thing because there's a lot of females walking this earth. But this young lady truly is a selfless leader. She is a leader amongst leaders. She has a tribe of people that runs with her. And it's because of who she is as a person. Character speaks volume. And I say that because it's true. Not because she's a friend of mine, a sister to me. No, it's because she's true. No gas up, straight E. But at the end of the day, y'all, she's about to bless our life. And I'm super honored, super grateful to be able to introduce the one, the only Miss Platinum Agent, our newest trainer. You know what's going to happen. Miss Pamela Pacheco.
What's going on? Great morning. Thank you so much, Dee Dee, for that amazing introduction. Thank you so much for everybody for the energy this morning. Absolutely powerful morning, and blessings to each and every single one of you guys. We gave you guys a little bit more time to mix and mingle today. And we're going to get right into it. For those that do not know me, my name is Pamela Pacheco. I have been in entrepreneurship for a very long time, right? And the last 7, almost 8 years, I actually have been blessed enough to be my own boss, right? To be my own boss, to be able to not clock into anybody. And I remember when I first started my journey on entrepreneurship and I decided to take it serious, which was a little bit almost 8 years ago, I remember plugging into these types of phone calls. I remember being surrounded by this energy, by this positivity that I was looking forward to on a weekly basis, because I was like, man, I needed the fuel, I needed the energy. But above everything, it's like I knew I was going to get instructions, right? I knew I was going to get skill sets, but I also knew that it was going to set the tone for my day. Because we all know garbage in is garbage out. Greatness in is greatness out. So at some point, right, we have to make a decision to say what it is that I want to be in alignment with. And one of those things, and if you're a person on here that is like, you know, I'm new to the Breakfast Club call, I don't really know what to expect, welcome, right? If you're the person that comes back every single week, welcome back. And if you're the person that's like, I don't even know what I'm doing here, welcome to. And really, I want to talk about a few things this morning, and it's kind of just been on my heart. I've actually been in this leadership course that I've been doing with my pastor from my church in Miami, Pastor Rich Wilkerson, VU Church Miami. Shout out to you guys. And it's been, you know, an ongoing thing for a little bit over 8 to 10 weeks. And because I've had so many things going on in life, it's one of those things that when I look back at it now, I've been like just reflecting. And one of the conversations that I had with my dear mentor and brother that I have the pleasure of calling not only a business partner, but someone that I can actually follow in real life, Josh Valentine, is that, you know, we want to make sure that whatever we do, we're not bringing mistakes from the past, right? That whatever we do, because we just like we understand this, that yesterday's touchdowns don't win today's games, right? And we heard that on a call not too long ago. We also understand that if you did something before and it didn't work out, how can we improve? Because life is about Kanai. It's constant, never-ending improvement. Life is about making sure that we are progressing, making sure that we are growing in each and every aspect. And I want to talk about a few things. One of them is going to be commitment. Another is going to be discipline. And another one is going to be lies. So discipline, commitment, and lies. So the first thing that I wanted to talk on discipline, and it's just going to be very practical. And if you're a note taker, you're a history maker, right? So if you're the person taking notes right now, more power to you. But when we think about leadership and we think about, what is a leader to you? But let's answer that. Let me see it in the chat really quick. What is a leader to you? If you had to define what a leader is, who a leader is, what is a leader to you? Somebody define leadership for me. What is a leader to you? Don't go Googling it. I want you to tell me, what is a leader to you? What does that mean? Let's say a servant. Okay. Yes. Dewey. Yes. A servant leader. Yes. Someone that is selfless. Absolutely. Make sure you're sending it to all panelists and attendees. And if we are going to look by definition, right? If we're going to look, and if we're looking at it and we're like, okay, well, what is the exact one? Who serves? Yes, Lisa, serves, guides, and helps other excel. Marlene, great morning. Someone people want to follow. One who lifts others up, a person of character. Yes, Didi, absolutely. So, and these are all definitions, right? And when we're talking about leaders, the person who leads, commands a group or organization or country, right? The principal player in a music, in the organization, someone who has followers, someone who can influence someone else to make decisions, right? Someone is, and if we're talking about leadership, it's the art of motivating a group of people to act toward achieving a common goal. Now, when we think of leaders, right, and we think of discipline, a lot of times discipline is like, we hear the word discipline. Does anybody cringe when they hear the word discipline? Does everybody on here feel disciplined at all times? No. And there's going to be times that you're not going to feel disciplined. Katie Robinson said leadership, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless, service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Yes, military core values, absolutely. Shows compassion, you can follow them. They can also know how to follow you, absolutely. And when we think about discipline, sometimes, and I don't know if I'm the only one, right? It's like nobody wants to hear that word, right? We hear it all the time. And how do you become disciplined in the times that you don't really want to stay disciplined? It's you make it a lifestyle. So whether it's your leadership, whether it's your daily habits, whether it's your morning routine, whether it's your working out, whether they're your health, whether it's your skincare, whatever it is, make it a habit, make it a lifestyle, so that you can be disciplined, because you're not always going to feel disciplined. But when you make it a part of your lifestyle, you're always going to want to do it. So we got to do our best not to see discipline as a duty, but see it as a delight, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of leaders see discipline. They see discipline as something that they can just delight in and not as a duty. And if we're talking about discipline and we're talking about ways that we're like, how can we make sure that we incorporate that? Because it is our duty. Number one, change your perspective. Change your perspective, because a lot of times, and if you've heard me say this, I always say, you don't have to do anything. You get to. So when you shift your perspective from, you don't have to do something, you get to do it. It's like a weight is automatically off of your shoulders, but you're also going to do that thing that you dread doing with enthusiasm, because you understand it's not something that you have to do. It's something you get to do. It's something you honor to do. You're blessed to be in that position that you're in. Make sense? Number two, discipline is an opportunity to grow, not an obligation. Why do I say that? Because a lot of times I've seen it. I've seen it throughout my business consulting clients. I've seen it through my former commercial banking clients. I've seen it through organizations. I've seen it in so many different aspects where people believe that instead of saying, oh my gosh, I have to be disciplined, or they're looking at it like as a bad thing. And it's like, it's an opportunity for you to grow. It's not an obligation. It may seem like it's an obligation because success in life and a lot of the things are about mastering the mundane, right? But when you're looking at it, we have to do our best to look at it as an opportunity to grow. Because at the end of the day, we're not trees. We're not just supposed to stay stuck in one place and are given a certain height. No, like God created us to be limitless, right? He created us to grow past our wildest dreams, past our wildest imaginations. We hear it all the time, like God's greatest gift to us was unlimited potential. And what we do with that is our gift to him, right? Our gift to humanity. Are you guys getting some value out of this? Awesome. Number 3, nothing great has been built with a spirit of obligation. Again, this kind of goes hand in hand with number 2, because it's like if discipline is an opportunity to grow, not an obligation, it's always great to remind ourselves that nothing great has been built with a spirit of obligation. So once you make something that it's your duty, once you make something that you're like, I get to do this, what a blessing that I get to be disciplined. What a blessing that I get to lead. What a blessing that I get to serve. What a blessing that I get to impact. What a blessing that I get to do life with people. What a blessing that I get to help people become the best versions of themselves. What a blessing that I get to impact financial blueprints forever. What a blessing, right? What a blessing. If you're looking at it from a different spirit, not a spirit of obligation, you're going to feel automatically this heaviness just lifted off. You're going to feel automatically a certain lightness when you do what you do, okay? Because you're going to know that it's refreshing. You get to do something. And we hear all the time, it's like inspiration gets you going in life, right? But discipline keeps you growing in life. So we could get going, but how we stay growing is by being disciplined. So one of the reflection points that I want you guys to just reflect on when we talk about this discipline is list out the daily responsibilities that you have a hard time loving. Can anybody relate to that? List out a list of responsibilities that you have a hard time loving and change the narrative from I have to I get to. And I promise that is going to completely just shift things for you. Okay. When we talk about commitment, excuse me, guys, I've been doing back-to-back Zoom, so I have no voice. But when we talk about commitment and you're talking about, commitment, and you've heard me say that you have to stay committed until, right? I don't know what that commitment looks like for anybody, but what are you committed? And your lack of commitment or your commitment to your commitment speaks volumes about our character. And it's like you hear all the time, it's like, don't watch what people say, watch what people do, right? And it's funny because I'm not going to mention her name. And this is someone that I highly respect. And she's a leader amongst leaders in our organization. And we had a last leadership and wealth development event, Elevate, in Dallas, Texas. And man, if you missed that event, I'm so sorry for you. Don't miss the next one, because boot camp is going to be one for the books. And even if you tuned in online, I promise you didn't get that energy. It's not the same. It is not the same. But anyhow, it's funny because she was like, I'm happy to see you here. And I'm excited that you were able to, that you're leading here as well. And when she said that to me, at first, I was like, what's it mean by that? Like, how you do anything is how you do everything. What you thought, that I was just gonna not like do what I need to do or something? And then I had to shift my perspective really quick, because I had to know that it was coming from a different place. And it's funny because I spoke to a friend about it, and she was just like, why she said that was because it's beautiful to see people that are committed to their commitment until. It doesn't matter the vehicle, doesn't matter the vessel, your why, right? The vision and the dream stay the same, even though the vehicle may have changed. So it's an entirely different aspect when you look at things like that. And it's about staying committed to your commitment. Yes, Didi said, staying committed long enough to win no matter the obstacles. And it's different, right? And I give all the glory to God. I give all the glory to our team, because literally we've been able to do so much more with less, right? And that's with me going through life, growing through life, and still not even being able to be operating at 100%, right? So when we think about commitment, it's like leaders are committed to their cause despite the mundane. And what does that mean? It's like we hear all the time. Success is about mastering the mundane. You know, it's about the little things. It's about the little nuances. It's about those things over and over and over again. So your commitment, number one, is tested in the monotony. It's tested in the monotony. So, and what does that mean? So your commitment is tested every single day, in different conversations, in different moments, in different obstacles, like Didi was saying. But it's a beautiful thing, because if you're looking at your commitment, the leaders that are committed to their cause do it despite the mundane, despite the monotony. And that's when it's tested the most, without a shadow of a doubt. So how are you looking at that tests you? Are you ready to receive the challenge of it? Are you ready to overcome the obstacle? Or when you are looking at that monotony, when you are looking at something mundane, when you're looking at something that's a challenge or an obstacle, are you just like, I'm so over it. I'm so over it. I'm just going to do what's barely required, just because, again, you don't feel like it's a duty. You feel like it's an obligation, right? So shifting your perspective goes back from what we were saying earlier, because the discipline and your views on that, it is going to transpire. It is going to roll over right into your level of commitment and your views, your perspective on that. Does it make sense? So number two, the commitment brings depth to every facet of your life. Anybody here married? Let me see my married people. Dewey is, I absolutely love Dewey and his wife, Angie, right? And here's why I'm going to do that in an example. Because Andy, I see all of y'all love it. I love it. All my married people. Lisa said 23 years. Yes, ma'am. Goals. I love it. How committed is that? How tough of a commitment is that? Marriage. Definitely. 31 years, Miss Joan. Yes, ma'am. I love it. I love it. God bless all of you guys. Right? Commitment. Would you say that level of commitment has brought depth, has brought meaning, has brought magnitude, okay, of you knowing what commitment looks like to every facet of your life? Yeah. Can you agree with that? So the level of commitment, yes, definitely Dewey says. Yes, Andy says, for real, right? And a lot of times we don't think about that. And I remember I'm like, well, I'm not married. Like, what do I care? My pastor is like, it don't matter if you're not married. What have you been committed to that has brought depth to every facet of your life? And I'll tell you this, I've been committed to people. I've been committed to purpose. I've been committed to impact. I've been committed to servant leadership. And a lot of people are like, you know, how are you able to even do something when you have just been growing through this season of your life? And that's just because I made a commitment to some folks. And I'm the type of person that if I give you my word is bond. One of the 4 agreements, if you haven't read that book, one of my favorites is be impeccable with your word. And nothing boils my blood more than to see somebody that is not impeccable with their word. And it doesn't boil my blood because I'm judging them. It boils my blood because I know that we were all made with the same capabilities, with the same abilities to be able to at least do one thing: keep your word, be impeccable with your word. See, and that level of commitment has grown my faith. That level of commitment has brought depth to my faith. That level of commitment has brought depth to my finance. That level of commitment has brought depth to my relationships, has brought depth to my knowledge, has brought depth to my purpose, has brought depth to people, has brought depth to community, has brought a certain level of depth to impact. That level of commitment brings depth to each and every facet of your life. And if you're the person right now that's like, well, I don't know, because I've been committed to this and I haven't seen it bring depth to every facet of my life, then go back and reevaluate what you've been committed to. Have you been committed to a cause, or have you been committed to something else, right? Like what's the driving factor? And I'll tell you one thing. When I said I'm committed to people, it meant because I'm committed to God first. Understand? And that was what God placed in my heart. And I'm not saying that that has to be the same for you. But what I'm saying is, see what it is that you're committed to. Because when you're committed to your commitment, or when you're committed to what it is that you said, it's like you're going to see the depth in each and every single area of your life. And if you're not experiencing that depth in each and every single of your area of your life, reevaluate what you're committed to. And make sure that it's God-centered. Make sure that it's centered with your creator. Make sure that you're in alignment with your assignment. Because you have to understand that these jobs, these businesses, they're not your provider. God is. These are assignments. Make sense? So I can talk about that all day long. Moving on. Commitment turns, number 3, commitment turns dreams into reality. Man, I'm so inspired by this group. I'm so inspired. And there's so many people on here that I'm so inspired by, right? But commitment turns dreams into realities. And, you know, I see Martell on here. Shout out to Martell. Martell was one of our contestants in a health reset challenge that we started at the beginning of the year, right? And he was in Vegas, one of the top contestants. And imagine that. Imagine his level of commitment to not only losing weight, but his health, becoming the best version of him. I'm sure that was a dream turned into a reality, Martell. Yes, yes. Right? And I see that in so many different facets, right? Dewey, right? One of our top leaders, not only in the Caribbean, in the entire world, right? In this industry. His commitment has turned dreams into reality. Alicia, her commitment has turned dreams into reality for her, for her son, for family, for friends. I can keep going on and on and on and on. And if you're that person that's like, man, I've been committed, and I have not seen my dream turn into a reality, don't quit before the flip. Don't sign up for that class. Don't let the birds get you. Stay focused, stay committed to your commitment until. What does that until look like? I don't know. But everybody's commitment level is different because your desire level is different. Your level of purpose is different too. Sarita, turning dreams into reality. Absolutely. I see you, girl. Suhani, I see you. And during one of the toughest seasons in your life, I already know, Sue, firsthand. But you're seeing your dreams turn into reality, even in the toughest of circumstances, because that's just how powerful God is. But stay committed to your commitment until. And again, how you manage the monotony determines your commitment to the mission. So if you're thinking about, you know, what are some takeaways? Again, the thoughts of commitment that we discussed. Your commitment is tested in the monotony. Commitment brings depth to every facet of life. Commitment also turns dreams into reality. And I encourage us all, if we're looking about commitment and it's something for you to reflect on, is how do your actions reflect your commitment level? How do our actions reflect our commitment level, right? And are you managing the mundane with excellence? Are you managing the mundane with excellence? And why do I say that? Because that is going to either shift your perspective, that is going to bring a level of awareness that is going to drive you to change, drive us all, because we are doing this as a collective, right? So moving right along. You guys are getting good on this? Yes. Awesome. So when we talk about, I'm gonna give you a bonus, right? We're gonna talk about another thing is developing. If we're talking about, you know, a vision, and we talked about commitment, and we talked about discipline, and something that it was when I saw this, I was just like, man, that was good, right? We're gonna talk about lies leaders need to stop listening to, right? And I'm gonna wrap this up shortly because I know we got things to do. 3 lies leaders need to stop listening to. Number 1, I'm not good enough. Stop underestimating the strengths you already have. And you hear me talk a lot about this on different times in different ways, because there is nothing that is most detrimental to ourselves than self-sabotage, right? It's like your voice is the most powerful voice in your life. Nothing can speak to your purpose. Nothing can speak to your heart. Nothing can speak to you like your voice. Hence why affirmations are so powerful. Incantations are so powerful, right? Declarations, all of that. But number one, stop underestimating the strengths you already have. Like that lie of I'm not good enough, forget that, right? Some people are like, did she just say that? I said, forget that, guys. So stop telling yourself, I'm not good enough. Stop underestimating the strengths you already have. Number two, I deserve more credit. I'm gonna tell you right now, that one right there is dangerous. And I've seen the best of leaders, and I'm talking about rock stars. I'm talking about superstars. I'm talking about even some multimillionaires that because they fall into this, I deserve this, I'm entitled, that's a scary spot to be in. That is a very slippery slope to go on. I've seen the best of the best be absolutely destroyed by this one right here because they think they deserve more credit. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, a constant need for credit will continually leave you in debt. I'm gonna say that again. A constant need for credit will continually leave you in debt. D-E-B-T, debt, okay? Because it's like, we're like, oh, if I'm not getting my credit, forget it. No. What are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? You're doing it for man, you're doing it for God. Are you doing it for purpose or are you doing it for power? Which one, right? So don't sign up for that class. Don't sign up for that class. Like another lie, we gotta definitely stop saying I deserve more credit. And I tell you that when you focus on people, when you focus on commitment, when you focus on discipline, when you focus on community, when you focus on your purpose, when you focus on servant leadership, when you focus on really what your purpose is, you're not going to worry about the credit because you're going to see everything manifest as it should. Like what you focus on expands. What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. But what you focus on is what you will follow and what will follow you. So if you're focused on the nonsense, guess what's going to follow you? Nonsense. But if you focus on the blessings, guess what's gonna follow you? But so what you focus on the longest definitely always becomes the strongest. Kill that lie. Blasphemy. Okay. Number three, it's all on me. Listen, I am very, 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 very aware of the strengths. And yes, there are things that it got to be you versus you, and it has to. But like I said from the beginning, commitment always lasts longer in community. Right? And that it's all on me, especially if you're a leader and you're someone that cares about your team and cares about the collective success of your organization. We, and I'm not speaking French, we, W-E, is always better than me. We is always better than me. Who wants to say I won? Isn't it better to say we won? Who wants to say I overcame an obstacle? Isn't it better to say we did? Who wants to say I'm a millionaire? Isn't it better to say we are millionaires? Isn't it better to say we are the ones instead I am the one? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I get it. And it's all like, we live in a society that's very, it's you're self-made and then I like, no, I'm God-made, I'm good. But I understand that like he created us for community. Like he created us for collaboration. You have gifts that I don't. I have gifts that you don't. And I'll tell you this, everybody has different gifts. Everybody has strengths. Everybody has weaknesses, but we're here to complement each other. And yes, Didi, no I in team. But guess what? There's a you in humanity. And for you and me and I to make a difference in humanity, we have to understand that it's about we and not about I. We are making a difference, not I. Like dead that, you know. And another book that goes into that, if you guys ever want to talk, it's Leaders Eat Last, super great book. But always understand this, whether it's about leadership, whether it's about discipline, whether it's about commitment, whether it's about the lies that we tell ourselves, how you speak about it will determine how you see it. Words are so powerful. How you speak about it will determine how you see it. So the reason why it starts off with, I'm not good enough, stop saying that, kill that lie. I deserve credit, kill that lie. It's all on me, kill those lies, because how you speak about it will always determine your reality. There's so much power in our tongue. Like the power of death and life is in our tongue, for sure. So you're writing notes, you're like, okay, what are some reflections? What are some takeaways? Your mind is a powerful tool. Our minds are such powerful tools. Be careful how we use it. It's important to know, like, be careful how we use it. What is one reoccurring negative thought that you need to change? And as I'm telling you guys, I'm inviting you guys to do these things, so am I, right? And I've had to do it, and I've actually even gone back to do a lot of these exercises because it's important. It's important to CYP, change your perspective. It's important to raise your level of awareness, but it's important to do the work. It's important to do the work. It's important to do the work on the inside, because your outer world is always going to be a reflection of your inner world. And I'm going to give you guys, this is going to be a bonus, and we're going to end with this. To lead, you must ask good questions, because we're talking about, like, you know, change this and change that and, you know, kill these lies. To lead, you must ask good questions. I always heard this, that the quality of our life is determined by the quality of the questions we ask or don't ask. So the quality, you know, one of our leaders from Europe said this on a call not too long ago. And he said, you know, the level of money that you have or don't have is based on the quality of questions. So sometimes if you're like, God, I just need to pay these bills, guess what? You're going to get money just to pay them bills. But if you're like, man, I need an abundance, guess what? You're going to see an abundance. So the quality of questions. And number one, leaders know that questions are powerful, right? That's a given. But number one, the only way to learn is to ask. He or she who asks a question remains a fool for 5 minutes. He who does not ask remains a fool forever. Chinese proverb, it's not me, but he who asks a question remains a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask remains a fool forever. All right, ask the question. Ask the question. Number two, questions reveal intentions. A lot of times have somebody ask you a question and you're like, I already knew it. You was already looking at them with your third eye like, yeah, I know, right? Or vice versa. You ask a question and you had different intentions. You had great intentions, but because of the type of question that you asked, somebody perceived that your intention was not what you meant it, right? It happens on both sides. So instead of saying, for example, how do I increase my income? The better question is, how do I maximize my impact? Right? So the questions are important. Thirdly, faith doesn't overlook questions. Instead, it chooses the belief despite not having the answer. So you might not be able to answer everything now, but it shouldn't stop you from doing something today. Good questions inform. Great questions transform. So if you're looking at, you know, what are some of the type of questions? So ask yourself, the type of questions we ask reveal our motivation. So when you're taking a moment to reflect on the questions you've been asking yourself, questions you've been asking your team, how can you improve the questions that you're asking? Because again, we're committed to constant and never-ending improvement. So that is our breakfast club call for today. I hope everybody got some great value on this. Breakfast has definitely been served. Blessings on blessings. Let's go conquer the day. Stay disciplined, stay committed, stay asking the right questions, kill the lies, telling yourself, but man, just go be great. Go live in your God-given purpose. Go live your God-given dreams. The best is yet to come. Great day and God bless. And if you are a part of our lifestyle club, make sure you are registered for boot camp. Make sure you are registered for boot camp. It is going to be one for the books. See you guys next week. God bless.